The gang is all here. Good morning,
Hey,
everybody.
Amy and I always book in John. So good.
Well, Amy, welcome back from vacation. I hope you had some relaxation time with the
We did
kiddos.
have that sometimes.
You need a vacation from your vacation.
Yeah.
Well, we are in store for a hot week, a stifling week of heat and humidity, and it starts really today. Just a continuation of really what we've been dealing with for a while. You can kind of even see those hazy sky conditions downtown. Really not much of clouds in the sky. It's just hazy out there. Low air quality alerts all over the place here today. It's already 86 degrees at O'Hare with a dew point of 66. It feels like near 90 at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's in the suburbs, a little cooler near the lakefront. 95 today. I think heat indices will approach 100 with that humidity. The humidity is on the rise. It'll continue for the next few days. We're going to see temperatures a little bit lower tomorrow. I think we'll end up being about the same. Chance of showers all of these days, guys, but just really limited chances here and there. And I think the worst of it will be Wednesday into Thursday, where we really get dew points near 70. This is going to enter some dangerous territory for folks, so just be advised of that middle of the week before we cool down for the weekend. That's just nice. And temperatures in the 70s maybe next week.
Oof. I
Okay.
think, is there an air quality alert today, too?
Yep, there is. Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right. Thanks, John.
Good day to be inside.
All right, time now for a look at today's top stories. 15 people have died, another 65 injured after a violent holiday weekend. One of the youngest victims was a 7-year-old girl. She was shot and killed when an unknown person fired more than 20 rounds at a party on the city's west side. Chicago is among a handful of cities across the country seeing an uptick in homicides this year.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of pushback on social media regarding this. And it's just, there are no words.
Right.
Yeah.
There are no words.
Terrible.
Remains found near Fort Hood in Texas have been identified as those of missing Army Specialist Vanessa Guillen. Investigators say she was beaten to death with a hammer on the base before her body was moved. Officials believe her killer is Army Specialist David Robinson. Guillen was reportedly going to file a sexual harassment complaint against him. Robinson killed himself shortly after talking to authorities last week. Police have arrested a woman in connection to Guillen's death.
Chicago's new travel restrictions go into effect today. Anyone traveling from states with spikes in coronavirus, including California, Florida, Tennessee, they're going to have to quarantine for 14 days. The city says it'll fine people up to $500 each day if they break the quarantine, or about $7,000 for 2 weeks, though it's a little unclear how they're going to enforce it.
Yeah, how do you know where people are coming from and when they got back, and somebody can tell you the truth so they quarantine? I don't know.
I think it's just, hey, everyone, be aware of this. And we're going to, if you blatantly are violating this and advertising it to the world, there could be some ramifications.
Yeah, like if you're coming in on a flight and landing today.
Yeah.
Right. Well, guys, the research is showing the first round of those stimulus checks did prevent a large increase in poverty. Before the crisis, the poverty level was about 13%. That rate remained steady in the months that followed. So that is some really good news, although there's still a lot of people that are waiting for those stimulus checks, and there's still a lot of people not getting back to work.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel great to take a victory lap when many states have released their eviction limitations, and people are currently being evicted from their homes that haven't been able to make rent or mortgage payments. As we look forward perhaps to Congress issuing a second stimulus check, it's just $1,900 or whatever you're going to end up getting out of this is not going to prevent people from paying. Not going to be. It doesn't cover the mortgage. It doesn't cover the rent for a lot of people.
It doesn't. I was just going to say that's not even enough to do really a one bed, depending on where you live, a one bedroom in the city of Chicago.
Yeah. I don't even understand why they call them stimulus checks, because people who are getting them are not using them to stimulate the economy. They are using them to pay their bills.
Exactly.
Very different.
I just, any plan going forward, especially now that we're seeing spikes and it's clear that this thing ain't going away, we need comprehensive decisions on rent, on mortgage payments, actual things that are going to help everyday folks get by during this thing, as opposed to just willy-nilly throwing out some checks that are just going to get people by for a week or two.
Well, do you think it should be more money?
I don't know. I think it's interesting because some people say you should be really targeting people that make less money for these checks, but some people say you should be giving them to middle-income families and to upper middle class folks, because for what Amy was saying, for some sort of stimulus, spending on a little vacation or that getaway, something to bring it to have it trickle down, as people like to use. I don't know.
Well,
I think rent and mortgage freezes are the best answer for everything.
That's the best answer. But I just think that if people are already out of work, if I get, a $700 stimulus check, where is that gonna? They're not at work anyway. It's not moving. It's not in a cycle.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, we'll keep it going. Kanye West announced on Twitter that he's running for president. So no legit evidence to prove that he's actually running yet. He's already missed the deadline to file as an independent candidate in many states. Obviously, that means he's not on the Republican or the Democrat ticket either. Kanye says he seeks to unify, although we haven't heard not one platform, talking point, what he's going to do to save the country, any help. We haven't heard anything, nada.
Doesn't he have an album coming out this week or something?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
country.
Let's all just take a breath. People were already hypothesizing about what ties in the Electoral College would look like, what would happen to certain states. He's not running, folks. This will go away. This won't be an issue. Don't give him the attention that he wants from this.
Definitely not 2020. And I'm like, look how many people are oblivious to the election process and how it happens. Because my immediate thought was like, how's he going to get on the ticket?
And he was in Chicago for some of the protests not too long ago and didn't say anything about nothing.
Yeah. Well, he did donate some money quietly. I was going to say, Amy, that there was a lot of criticism at first, but then he kind of had some good press because he quietly paid for Breonna Taylor's, her daughter's college and some other things as well.
But she's saying didn't say anything about running.
True, right.
Politics.
Nothing political. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Really interesting. I would not hold my breath for this one. And I honestly, I think it's irresponsible and just a distraction right now from the real conversations we should be having. If you don't have anything solid to say that's going to move the conversation forward, then it's 100% a waste. Although I did sit back and think about what he would look like and what he would wear to his first debate.
Did you see Kim K as the first lady?
And she quote tweeted him. She's all on board with this or whatever.
Yeah. A lot of people talk about Melania's fashion. If you could see Kim K's fashion in the White House, oh my goodness.
Yeah. If everyone's looking for a fun distraction today, speaking of distractions, just the president's Twitter feed is going crazy this morning. He's tweeted about 7 or 8 times in the last hour. Could be one of those days, including calling out Chicago for being a sanctuary city, where he says that has contributed perhaps to the violence spikes that we've seen over the past couple of weekends. So just some entertainment for your Monday if you'd like. The president is a little unhinged today. Sure.
Yeah.
And you're happy?
Yeah. He's on a Twitter war. He's on a Twitter rally. That's always entertaining, to say the least.
Always entertaining.
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to our 11 a.m. show on the Jam, obviously, you guys. We're going to have Charmaine and Ryan from Black Ink Crew. I watch the show, so I'm a fan. But we also know them a little bit. Charmaine just had a baby.
Yeah.
Incredible year last year, and now she's working on her business, as well as Ryan continue to grow his business. So I'm looking forward to talking to them, because the new season is going to show how they've been handling quarantine. I've already seen the promos. It looks good.
Well, we also have Chicago filmmaker Arlen Parsa joining us, talking about the research he's done on the founding fathers and a lot of the problems we have with them in this country and the way they've been idolized. So it should be a very interesting conversation.
Yeah, he's a really cool dude. All right, guys, we'll see you at 11.